February 20th, 2026, the 396th day of the Sex Offender Administration. Donald Trump gave the latest in a series of economic speeches in Georgia on Thursday as he seeks to persuade voters he and fellow Republicans have a plan to lower prices ahead of November's midterm congressional elections. The unregistered sex offender concept of an economic plan is to tell you how great the Dow is, as if you could eat the Dow. Yale University finance professor James Chow recently developed a formula that recommends an asset allocation based on part your age, income, savings, and risk tolerance. The formula is drawn from a paper he co-authored last year and was adapted for the Wall Street Journal. That paper is extra exorbitant, soft enough for your face, yet sturdy enough for your ass. The former Prince Andrew was arrested and held for several hours by British police Thursday on suspicion of misconduct in public office related to his links to Jeffrey Epstein. It was the first time in nearly 4 centuries that a senior British royal was placed under arrest, and it underscored how deference to the monarchy has eroded in recent years. This is the second time that Andrew was part of a catch-and-release program. The first time was when he was catching young girls and holding them until he had release. South Korea's former president, Yoon Suk-yeol, has been found guilty of masterminding an insurrection over his short-lived imposition of martial law in 2024. The Seoul Central District Court, which found Yeol guilty on Thursday, sentenced him to life imprisonment. Prosecutors had sought the death penalty and feel that Suk-yeol got off easy. Suk-yeol maintains that he did not know Jeffrey Epstein, so he never got off easy. This has been the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll with headlines and punchlines for February 20th, 2026, the 396th day of the Sex Offender Administration. Join me live at the Church of Last Resort Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on MindDog TV.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
I could get some coffee, but take coffee time. What's going on?
Damn good coffee and hot.
Oh, I have to push a button.
Mind Dog is your mind's best friend.
I don't know what I was pushing all the wrong buttons.
Mind Dog is your mind's best friend.
Yeah, I'm bumping the button.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
I'm not big on making people laugh, man. Yeah, we do our best, right? We can do our best, and that's always the deal. I'm not happy with being this light. I mean, lit up. That's kind of a little project. That stuff. Maybe I've always been this light and didn't know. Good morning, folks. It's Friday, February 20th, 2026. Made it to another week or thereabouts. You know, we have to finish Friday. I'm not certain that we will finish Friday, or I will finish Friday. But it feels like we made it through another week. How about that? Congratulations to us. Hey, way to go. Are you catching Olympic fever? Because this Olympic fever, I don't know. I feel like I got a little Olympic. It might be monkeypox or something. But, I'm just thinking maybe I'm just bright because I can finally see. I got these new glasses. How about that? Are you excited for me? New glasses. $1.50 at the Dollar Tree yesterday. Can't beat that. I'm like in my glory. If you watch GD's performance last night, Funny Old Farts from Westminster, Maryland, you're the one. Congratulations. Wait, I think we have a review in from my Blind Mike that says, I don't get it. Anyway, we hope it went well. I was at Citi Field, the home of the New York Mets, where the New York Mets play. And let me just tell you something. This place is it's quite an experience. I mean, it's not about, and I said this because I've gone there a couple of times to watch ball game. You know, if you backstory here, I was a big Met fan up until 2009, 2008. I'm sorry, I even screwed that up. 2008. They choked twice at the end of the year, September, the same way, and I just had enough of them. And then I stopped watching it. But then a friend or a Nazi friend, a former Nazi friend, dragged me to a couple of games at Citi Field, and I discovered it was no longer about baseball. It was a 9-inning buffet. It was just food, because it's all these luxury boxes now. Nobody buys real tickets, and so and then you go in and it's like, oh, let's try something. Like I can't eat anymore. It's like worse than the worst Thanksgiving dinner you've ever. I mean, bloated. You get to just eat. And that's all it is. And now, yesterday, I'm giving a paint party for 100 people in this gigantic, like, banquet hall. And it's an open bar and free food everywhere. And, like, it's all about the food. It's like a restaurant. It's like a 5-star restaurant that happens to have a baseball field in the middle of it that nobody really cares about. And, but long. Now, these people, keep in mind, their canvas is this big, right? And for the people on the radio, I'm doing this so you know how big it is. All right, can you hear that? That's how big it is. Anyway, the painter. I wasn't the lead painter. Allie, young lady, very good painter. She was the main painter, and I'm assisting. But her canvas is like this. For people on the radio, I'm going like this, so it's much bigger. You see how much bigger? And the people painting, now, this is their first time painting, and it's a difficult painting. I'll give them that for a first timer. But they're constantly asking for more paint. Hands going. And I'm running around like a waitress in a very busy restaurant pouring paint everywhere. And I'm like, not for nothing, but we're 2 hours in here. You see her canvas is almost 3 times the size of yours. She hasn't renewed any paint yet. Why do you need a whole new palette of paint every 15 minutes here? It's just crazy. And they all did. I'm just going through paint all over the place. Anyway, so I'm running around, and it was a lot of exercise for an old geezer like me. Should have made the young girl do the running. I would have been the one painting, except the painting would have sucked because I'm not as good as her. How's that? Anyway, if you haven't, GD's not with us today. He's traveling to Laguna Beach to do a show for people who go, I don't get it. And, you can't blame them for not getting it. Just briefly about the news here. Donald Trump is stealing $10 billion. You heard me right, billion with a B. $10 billion from the American people. He set up this bogus Board of Peace thing that he declared himself chairman of the board of, and it really does nothing. And he just announced, I'm just going to take $10 billion from the American people and just put it in that, which is basically his pocket. And he's doing it in broad daylight, not even like trying to hide it. He's stealing $10 billion from you and me. And not even like trying to sneak it. And this is not just a little skimming off the top. This is $10 billion, right? That's not just skimming. If it were $100,000, he's skimming off the top. Yeah, I might let that go. Whatever. He's $10 billion, and he's using the Department of Justice to sue the IRS for $10 billion, which is $10 billion of your money. He's just taking tens of billions. So yeah, oh my God. And we're not done yet. He's going to start a war not just start. He's going to start and finish a war. I don't know. He's going to bomb Iran. And then they're talking about tactical nukes. Tactical nukes. No such thing. Once you're going to start a nuclear war. And so what's going to happen with his stolen money then? Can't spend it when you're melting. Anyway, today we're going to talk about dogs. A good way to wrap up this week. I started the week with a dog, and now I don't have a dog. But we have two authors coming on the show, and both of them have written about dogs in one sense. Holly Gutwillinger, she's from Canada, that country there up there. She was on, I think last month or 2 months ago or something. She just a book just published on Valentine's Day. I don't know why she didn't come back Valentine's Day or the day, right? But she's here. She'll be here today, and we'll follow up with her. And it's about rescue dogs, and I'm ready to be rescued by a dog or go to the shelter and get a dog. Let me, while I'm rambling here, I see Ron Kane is in the back there. I'm going to, can I play this background music here? It's probably too loud, right? How about that? Where's my damn thing? You got my damn thing? All right. Let me tell you about Wine Express. WineExpress.com is the exclusive wine shop partner of the Wine Enthusiast Catalog and website, which has been providing quality wine accessories for 40 years. And during that time, they've served millions of satisfied customers and built a loyal following of winos, avid wine lovers. I'm sorry. No, not winos. Well, they are winos, I guess. Well, I don't know. We're slicing and dicing here. It's only natural for them to have teamed up with a great wine shop for their customers' finest quality and blah-blah-blah. But just go to WineExpress.com and order some wine. If you order enough wine to get drunk till next Thursday, I'm just judging by how much I would have to spend. You get free shipping on it. So ship your free wine and dig it, baby. Dig it. That's all I'm saying about that. Dig it, dig it, dig it. In the room with me now is a man who has not gone to Laguna Beach, California, but he's also not disappointing Blind Mike. It's the fabulous Ron Kane. Good morning, Ron.
Morning. How you doing?
I will be doing better in a little while. I haven't slept. I slept 1 hour this whole week. That's not good for your brain. I don't know if you're aware.
No, that's not good at all, especially for a man of your age.
How old am I again? I don't remember. You know, seriously, I had my first like real scary moment with like aging, Alzheimer's, whatever it is. My stepdaughter. Well, to be fair, she's on her third husband. But I couldn't remember the current husband's name the other day, and I was like, dude, what's his name? And I was panicking. My wife said, Anthony. Oh yeah, why couldn't I remember Anthony? It's not a hard name, but it's happening. I'm not looking forward to more of this, but I've seen that happen with my mother when she did that. So
you don't think it's because you're smoking too much?
No, well, I haven't been smoking too much. I've been pretty good with that. Not because I want to, because I can't. I got to become a gummy guy. I cough too much. I can't smoke anymore. So.
I gotcha. Yeah. We've taken a break from dabs to honor Lent.
You know, the thing about Lent, we had a guy on last week who was talking about if you get Sundays off. This whole thing about Lent, I never knew this. Like, whatever you give up for Lent, you don't have to do it on Sunday. A priest told him this. He said every Sunday is the day they celebrate the resurrection. So Sunday, all bets are off with the Lent thing. So whatever you give up, so that makes it a lot easier if you're like, you got 1 day off a week where you can just like.
I'm gonna guess that guy is not a Catholic.
He's Episcopalian, and I don't know how far that is from Catholicism, but it probably, I don't know. I'm not big on the whole religions and where they rank in the.
I'm about the same too. I mean, I'm not even baptized. My wife, she went through all that as a kid, She was confirmed Catholic and all that shit.
Huh.
Her and her brother.
Before we bring Holly in, I got because Barack Obama had said aliens are real, right? But then he clarified, and people, the former president is really revealing some vital classified information here. And then he clarified and said, no, I was just talking about the odds of that we're not alone in the universe and blah, blah, blah. And then Trump accused him of revealing classified evidence and said, how did you know that? I don't even know that. But then he said he's going to release all the UFO files. Whatever is in them, and whatever
he really lives in the shadow of Barack Obama.
Really,
Barack
man.
is living rent free in his head.
Not just in his head, his entire body, which is probably a pretty disgusting thing to. But yeah, I mean, why can't we just say Barack Obama just really wanted to resign in shame, and then he might want to do that. Anyway, I Autumn, my favorite puppy in the world, went to heaven this week, and so
sorry to hear that.
It's rough. I know you experienced it yourself, and if you live long enough and you're a dog person, you're going to experience that. Unfortunately, they don't make them like they used to. The dog I had when my parents had when I was a kid lived 22 years as a mutt.
Wow.
Pedigrees tend to not live as long. Anyway, today we're going to talk to two authors about books. Holly Gutwillinger, her book is about a rescue dog, and in the second hour, Josie McCade, I'm sorry, and her is Let Sleeping Dogs Lie. It's about I don't know, like a robot dog, and that's kind of weird, but I'm in a place where I'll take a robot dog. Robot dogs won't die. How about that?
Yeah, you just plug them in. Just plug them back in.
Yeah. So Holly's back with us now. I'm going to try to read, because I got new glasses from the dollar store, $1.50 for these glasses. I'm excited. I can read. Holly, you know what about Holly? I know she can hear me right now, and she's going to get offended by this, but that's what I'm here for, to offend people. Her and I have something in common. I can't spell my last name, and neither can she. On my Gmail, it's mattbappo@gmail.com. Yes, Matt Bappo, because B is next to the N key. And when I set it up in 2009, I hit the wrong key. And it's mattbappo@gmail.com. And they don't let you change that. So I've been Matt Bappo since 2009 on Gmail. Both times Holly has been on the show, in where she signed up for the show, she misspelled her last name. we have that in common. But at least I only did it once. So Holly B. Gutwillinger is an author and podcaster from Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. She is also the winner of On Creative Writing's Writer's Spark Contest. Her writing has shaped her deep love of family. She is a proud mother of 2 adult sons and committed to the animals who enrich our lives. If I could just get this mouse to work, I could say good morning, Holly, and welcome back.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm getting back. I don't know if you heard there, but my puppy she passed this week, so it's a difficult man. Yeah. It's harder. I'm still mourning, and it's harder than when some actual humans have died in my life. I mean, that's terrible to say, but it really is. I mean, I'm talking to the dog who's not here. Very weird.
Well, it's not. I mean, I think it's because we give them everything we have, and they love us back unconditionally, right? And
I don't know. I think it's conditional. If I don't give her food, she would say, I don't love you anymore. Right? If I didn't give her any food, she'd say, that's a condition, dude. I don't know if you read the contract, but when I signed up to be your dog, food was part of the deal.
Yeah.
But
they'll just find the next person.
But typically, a dog won't eat you like a cat will. You know?
Will a cat eat you? Now you're going to make me bring up a really inappropriate story. When I was a young man, there was an older woman, a married woman, who seduced me. And she said she took me down to the beach, and we were making out on the beach. And she laid back, and I put my hand on the sand, and I felt fur. I was like, "Oh!" And there was a cat buried in the sand there, and it turned out that at the end of the story, the lady who lived across the street had lots of feral cats, and this one just went out into the sand and died, and I didn't know it was there. But I was just grossed out by it and moved over, and then we went right back to what we were doing, and I put my hand in the sand again and felt more what I thought was cat fur. And it turned out to be the lady from the house. She went out looking for one of her cats out in the sand and died in the sand, had a heart attack in the sand and died there. Now the cops have to come, and we have to call the cops. She's cheating on her husband, so she doesn't want to be around. So now she's hiding while the cops are in, and I look nervous because I know she's hiding, and now they're suspecting foul play. Like, why are you so nervous? I'm a kid. I don't know. So that's my cat eating.
Is that a fiction story?
Yes. It was featured on a podcast called Found Dead Bodies or something. Christine Levine, she finds dead bodies. Anyway, the book's out now. I can't show the book because I didn't realize Ron was going to be here. I thought it was going to be a 2-spot, and I had the book right in the middle. And now if I bring up the book, it's going to cover your face. I'll do it really quick just so I flash it at people. But it came out Valentine's Day, yes?
Yes, it did. Yeah, on Saturday.
We can't see her. There she is. North and Broken. Now, this is about rescue dogs, right? The dog, the dog was in a forest, no? A forest, a pack of dogs or something? Is that right?
Yeah. So he was up north, and he had to escape because a bear was attacking his mother, and so he ended up running with the pack of dogs out into the forest. So they were living there. Sorry, that's my dog. That's one of them there who's visiting right now.
Wow. Very cool. I like good. He's here to cheer me up.
Yeah, Cash, come and say hi. So yes, the pack of dogs are in the forest, and then the girl goes on the rescue mission to save these dogs from a life of northern woods. And
so when you say up north for you, it's really up north for me.
Yes.
Wow, it's all like upper Canadadia. Wow,
That's
all
right.
the way up there. Sully is the dog's name, and now this is because I've been looking. In morning you do stupid things. Went looking up rescue shelters for rescue dogs. I was just impulsively, without checking with my wife or anybody, just go out and get a dog when she got home. Hey, look, we got a dog. But Sully was the dog's name, and what ran through my mind is I go to a shelter. These dogs are already named. I don't get to name the dog then, right?
You can rename your dog. There's no law against that.
But don't they just answer to one name? They get to recognize their name, right? Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think dogs are pretty smart. So, I mean, Sully came to us as Rugger, and I couldn't handle that.
Oh,
yeah. Like, what is that? And
right.
So we renamed him to Sully, for sure.
Oh, that's cool. I did not know you could do that.
You can do whatever you want, except, can I go back to something you just said?
Yeah.
You said that you could go out and get yourself a dog, bring it home without letting your wife know. Would you actually do that?
I thought about it. Because she's very sad. We're all very sad. I thought it wasn't like I was doing it again, so I wanted to surprise her with it. But then I thought that's pretty irresponsible. I should talk to her about it beforehand. But because I looked at puppies as well. And then, you know what? My first instinct was to look at puppies. $2,700 for a golden retriever puppy to start, and then you have to pay for the shots and the examination and all that stuff. So you're looking at $3,000 easy. I'm like, yeah, maybe a shelter dog. They need to be rescued anyway, because if not, so I thought about that. I don't know, but then somebody said, well, why don't you give it time? I don't know what the proper thing to do is. You said I could do whatever I want.
There is no proper thing. I mean, when we lost Chance, which was, over 10 years ago, my husband knew I was going to go out and get another dog, even though I said, no, I'll give it some time, but I couldn't help it. I mean, I've always lived with dogs. Was I filling a void? Probably. But I mean, it's just in me to live with a dog. They are my best friend.
Is there anything wrong with that, filling a void? I mean, it's not
No.
like my love for this dog would be inauthentic. Then I would get to bond with the dog and love the dog. It doesn't mean that I'm going to constantly be thinking you're just a replacement for the last dog that I
No,
was.
exactly. There is nothing wrong with this kind of void. I mean, sure, there are other addictions that are not good, but to love a dog, yeah, I buy into that one for
Yeah.
sure. Now, the whole, maybe going to get it without your wife's consent. If she's like totally chill about that, great. But I asked my husband a couple weeks ago, I'm like, can't we just foster this puppy? He needs a home. They brought in a whole bunch of dogs from the north. And he's like, no, because you won't be able to give it back. I'm like, but I will. No. And I almost went out and did it by myself without talking to him, which I never do. So that's why I'm asking you. I really wanted to pick your brain on that one.
It would have been wrong. It would have been wrong of me because my wife said no. She did say no when I told her what I almost did.
There we go.
Because we have 2 cats, and she said, "Look how long it took the cats to get used to Autumn. We don't want to like traumatize them all over again and start all over with the cats."
Yeah.
It's just a tough thing, man. It really is. I think if you believe in God, he's a bad engineer. He should have engineered dogs to live long. Dogs and cats to live long.
Agreed.
We lost our dog last year, a German Shepherd, and she was 13.
Wow.
And we haven't replaced her yet because I don't know, because she was so big and so lovable. So it just feels weird to replace her at this point.
Mhm.
And
Damn
my
pedigrees.
my wife is a little better. Like, she wants a small dog now, but I'm still like, I don't want to get involved in all that.
Yeah, I'm not big on really small dogs. Like, they, if you get a dog, it'll chase that thing away. That's kind of, I don't know. I don't like Chihuahuas, especially because they're nasty little dogs. But pedigrees seem to, as I mentioned, my parents, their dog was a mutt. It lived 22 years, 22 and a half years. Pedigrees, 10, 13 years is like tops. And they're engineered bad. Anyway.
Mutts are the only dogs I've had, so I don't know purebreds, like pedigrees, as you call them.
Wow. Yeah. So they live longer, though, right?
They do.
Yeah.
They
Now
do.
you wouldn't know Sully's name when you first age when you first found it, right?
I feel like rescue shelters always give you they're around 2.
Yeah.
I feel like they do that for all the unknown dogs, because I don't think he was 2. I think he was 1. But.
Yeah, he had a pack a day Marlboro habit by the time he actually. So North of Broken, it's been out a week. Have you gotten a lot of reviews? I mean, first of all, did you? I think I gave you the advice on how to game the algorithm. Did I?
You did. And my goodness, it's been a whirlwind ever since I spoke with you. It's been a really great week. The launch was incredible. My community really came out and supported me. I saw people that I hadn't seen since high school, and it was just such a great feeling to bring a whole bunch of different people together in a coffee shop. And I would look up every now and again and see all these people chatting and talking, and we raised some money for the local shelter, which was pretty cool.
That's very cool. Somebody, who was it? That wasn't signed, but one of these comedians went to a shelter and bought and saved all the dogs, like 30 dogs, and brought them home. And donate like a couple $1 million to the shelter for when they restock. But went and got that's a little the problem with all these rescue dogs is we get like spontaneous and do things like that. There's no way you can take care of like 27 dogs. I mean, and give them all the attention. So on one sense, you say, yeah, you're a hero. On the other sense, you're an idiot.
But he's probably not taking care of all those dogs either.
That's true.
Exactly.
Yeah. So No, because I talk to authors a lot. You know that. The other night I
Yes.
talked to one author who really seemed to know her audience. Like, she does deep analytics. But most authors, I find, like, you don't become an author to get into that kind of web tech space, analytics space, business person, CEO, whatever, accountant for the whole thing. Do you know if the audience for the book is just just dog enthusiasts and people who just love, or is it just readers?
That's a good question, because I do feel like it's mostly dog enthusiasts at this point. But you're right. I mean, I'm not the digital world, this whole social media marketing is new. I enjoy it, but gosh, it's a lot of work. And
You
so
enjoy it? Why? You're the one. You're the one who enjoys it.
I do. If I didn't have, a full-time job, I think I would spend all my days just creating reels and videos, and I never knew how much I would like it until now. So, but it's a time stealer.
Yeah. Ron hates it, right? I'm not gonna put words in your mouth. Well, I'm not gonna say Ron hates it, because he does some entertainment, like entertaining reels and shorts and stuff. But the work you have to put into it and he's not an author, he's a comedian, but it's still the same thing: marketing, promotion, all that stuff. It's a pain in the ass, right?
Yeah. You just gotta, if you want to have that big presence, you just gotta keep, tending the fields essentially. And you're exactly right. It's just a time suck. It's like, do I want to focus on this or do I want to focus on this?
Yeah.
And you really don't know if there's any benefit to it. I mean,
Exactly.
there are people that I follow on Instagram that I enjoy, but I only see them every now and again. And I know they're posting, but their videos don't show up. Like, I wish there was a way. Well, there is a way. You can actually go into your list and just go see, but nobody does that, right? We just scroll.
Yeah, since they changed the algorithm last year or a year and a half ago, the way that it feeds you content now is different. And you're exactly right. There are people that you used to follow and you'd see their videos and you still follow them, but then their videos fall to the wayside and you're like, what's going on here?
Yeah. I'm glad you brought this up, because being a Canadian, there is a comedian who I call my favorite comedian, who I've never seen live. His name is Sean Collins. He's a Canadian guy, but I saw him for years, and then I stopped seeing him. Like, what happened? I thought he just stopped producing reels, and then last night I caught a bunch of them, and it seemed, because I've never seen him live, and I don't know anything about him other than his internet reels, and he actually makes me laugh loud at some of the stuff he says, which is not common. Generally, if I'll think, oh, that's pretty funny, but saying I think that's pretty funny inside your head, as opposed to laughing out loud, it's two different things. He makes me laugh out loud, but I think he grew up. I'm going a long way of asking you a question. I think last night I figured out that he grew up in Philadelphia and moved to Canada, and he was saying he was back in Canada, and he loves the country because nothing works, but you folks don't seem to care about it. Now, I want to know, is that true? Nothing works in Canada?
Well, that's a broad statement. I mean, we went from digital to nothing. So are we referring to the digital world or just nothing at all?
Well, he followed it up with, I love when people come here from another country and they buy a train ticket, and then they realize they have to take a bus with the train ticket because the trains aren't working. I was like, well,
he's not wrong.
It's something. I see. I didn't laugh at that, because you have to be Canadian to know that. Look, I said Canadian right.
Good point.
I mean Canadian. Yeah.
Oh, you slipped.
I don't know. I've been a bad week. Whatever. So yeah. Now, how do you sustain the? It sounds like you feel you got a buzz off of this launch of the book. How do you sustain that now? What's the plan on keeping a book? First of all, did we tell people to put it in, call their libraries and have them libraries order the book? Yes.
Yes, I've been doing that. I've been asking people to call their libraries. So thank you for that tidbit on the last call.
I can't believe that's actually working for a lot of people. People have told me I started doing that, and I'm seeing people actually take it. And we saw a couple of people who they showed us that it was in their library. They sent us pictures of, oh look, the library got my book. They're like, wow, I thought of
Well,
something.
I've done it for other people, so naturally, I think people should just do it for me.
Yeah.
I think after the launch, I was exhausted, and I think it's because I was on a smiling and talking hangover. You know, you're always on, and it's good, like it's all positive, but it's just you're always on, and so your energy is just at its highest. And I crashed for 2 days. I drove my son back to Toronto, and I just crashed. And I'm still kind of just trying to pick myself up, and it's like, okay, shake it off and let's keep going. So
Well,
I'm
I was
sorry.
just going to say that we ordered the book. When was it? Last week, last Friday. And for some reason it's not here yet. It was supposed to be here Tuesday. But I just want to get your advice on it. Do you think it's too soon to read? Is this going to tear out our emotional strength, or should we wait a month to read
Mm.
it?
Ooh. Ooh, that's a tricky question.
It doesn't have to be tricky.
Well, it is because I want to say it's about rescue dogs. So, you know, if you're leaning one way, then it might be good, but there are no I just want to say there are no absolute terrifying, you know, no dogs pass away in this book.
So, when does your campaign for Prime Minister of Canada start? Is it because it seems like you're a very good politician, non-committal, committal, non-committal.
Well, because I mean, this is matters of the heart here.
Yeah, it
I
is.
can't mess with your heart. Come
I know.
on.
Please don't. It's been messed with enough.
Yeah, I mean, there are moments of conflict, of course, but you know what? I think you have to follow your intuition.
See, that's the problem.
You don't have any?
My intuition has gotten me into so much trouble in my life. I mean, and just everything yesterday I said I had a feeling of impending doom because I had this gigantic event to do last night. And then and I was the whole way there just a nervous wreck and full of just negative energy. Turned out to be just really, really fun and nice, and like my intuition has never been right about anything. It's
But I mean,
terrible.
that could have been your inner critic, not your intuition.
Yeah.
You know, that your inner critic was probably just chattering up in your head and creating a scenario.
That's definitely a possibility. I mean, whatever it is, I go through it a lot. The day of the gig, I'm always like, why did I say yes to this? You shouldn't have said too late to get out of it now. What are you going to do? People are dependent on you, and you're going to suck, and everybody's going to hate you. They're all going to hate you. And then the pig blood falls down on me, and they're all going to laugh at you. They're all going to laugh. I'm just referencing Carrie.
I usually, I'll get that feeling like, and I've talked to other comics, that like right before you go up on stage, like there's final 5 minutes, you'll be standing there like getting ready to go up, and you have this moment, you'll be like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, I'm such an idiot. It's so torturous. Why am I doing this?
I had that moment on the launch day. Like it was 9:30 in the morning, and I was in the cafe, and I broke down crying. And I hadn't cried in a long time, but for me, tears are a release. And so I went up to the owner of the store. She goes, "It's okay, just go sit down. I'm going to bring you a nice drink. You're going to sit there. You're going to relax." And I'm like, you know, all those thoughts. Like, what if people hate it? What if blah 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 blah?
Well, because thank you for saying, because that was what I was going to ask you. Do you go through that? But earlier this week with GD, I asked him, what is the real fear? I mean, because he was saying he was terrified. He's in Los Angeles getting ready to do a show tonight. And he said he was really fearful. He was having nightmares about it. And I said, I go through that too. But yeah, I've been asking myself, what's the fear? In my case, the feedback is the fear of boo is a fear. But in your case, like with authors, the worst that's going to happen, nobody's going to tell you, I really hated your book. If they anything, they're going to go online and write a book about how they hated your book. But usually the praise will be just like, a nice book or great book, loved it, something like that. But you're not going to hear them like, boo, take your book back, unwrite it.
Except for keyboard warriors. They'll make sure that they're loud and proud. Right.
Yeah.
So if I made the mistake of hopping on to Goodreads and started reading the reviews, and all of a sudden it's like 1, 2, didn't finish, that is going to start playing on my mind. So in order to conquer that one, if I feel the need to read reviews, I'm going to have my son or a friend read them and filter through.
That's what you need. That's what I need. I need somebody to just pick out the good ones and read them to me, and you never respond. Do you? Do you make a plan to never respond to like the negative ones?
Never. And if I do, I'm going to kill them with kindness. That's what I'm going to do.
That's what I heard. I mean, most of the advice I get is either don't respond at all or say something really polite and nice back and thank them for taking the time to leave a terrible review.
And you can also tell too, like if someone's actually kind of giving you criticism versus like, this, just to be an ass.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, Ron. Like you can tell when somebody is just in there, to get a rise out of you.
Yeah.
And sorry, Ron, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it's just almost like Yelp reviews. Yeah. Like, a Yelp review is good if it doesn't start with, well, we were out all day, and they start giving you this backstory of what their day was like before they had the meal.
Man, you gotta check out Brendan Walsh's Yelp reviews. That was the funniest stuff. He's done a lot of funny stuff, but he would go like World of Birds, and he'd write a long thing about how his mom had a parrot who used to smoke cigarettes. We called him Smokey, but he would sing he said, my dad used to get mad because the parrot wouldn't shut up. He kept singing that greasy meatball music, which was what we call Frank Sinatra. I was like, oh my God, it's just like going on and on with just backstory and nothing that it wasn't really about the story. It was about his bird experience or whatever. Yelp reviews can be really creative, and people will use those just for entertainment or spite or all that kind of stuff. I think if people are reading your book, they wouldn't be leaving a review at all if they hadn't read it. So that's a good thing, right?
Yes. And, as an author, what I'm learning is when you're looking for those advanced readers, you're saying, hey, if you think it's a 3 or less, just don't leave the review.
Right.
First of all, I hate the whole star system. To me, it should be, you know what, this book was for me, it wasn't for me, what you liked about it, and let's just leave it at that. Because what people don't realize, and I'll be honest, I never did either, was that 1-star, 2-star reviews can really ruin an author's chance at having that book get out into the world.
All right, you just made my Friday. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You probably don't even know how you lit up my heart right there. You gave me my first boot of the day. What they like to boot it? Now I can't get past it. I love the boot.
I'm going to leave you a review.
Well, be nice about it.
No, I won't be that nice about it.
Let me ask you about this. Do you know how to spell your last name, right?
Okay, what did I do? Where did I spell my last name?
It says Goldwinger. Twice you did this.
Where?
On the Calendly thing. Really? And I'm like, because I remember the first time, because you did it again this time, but the first time I did it, I was like doing the research like to get your book, and I was like, there is no Holly B. Goldwinger. What is this? And,
I don't know what the heck I did.
I'm Matt Bappo, so nice to meet you.
Exactly. And you know what? It was probably without these.
Yeah. Yes. Does that ever happen in writing? Like, are you like conscious of typos and all that stuff, or
Oh.
because for me that kills the role, right? That kills being in the zone and writing and stuff. If you got to really, and then you look back and you say, "What the hell did I write?"
Well, I mean, I have to be open to the fact that somebody somewhere will probably find one. You know, you go over your book and you have editors and proofreaders, but you know there's one in there somewhere.
Right.
And of course, that one person, that one-star reviewer is going to point it out.
Yeah,
But
I'm
you know
okay.
what? That's a first world problem. I mean, I
Yeah.
am not going to lose sleep over that because I used to in my younger days and no more.
No, and it's so people just love to nitpick
They
because
do.
it's easier to do, and I guess
Yeah.
maybe it validates their presence. I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
look,
right, Ron.
I've paid attention in English class. That's what I'm trying to show here. I did
Now,
too.
listen, I read a novel 2 years ago that was laced with typos, and I was like, okay, was this on purpose? No.
Wow.
So there was somebody missed the boat somewhere. Like the editor was
Or
no.
maybe it was whatever AI they were using, and it was not very smart.
But this was a traditionally published book. That's why I
Yeah.
was so shocked.
Wow, the
Yeah.
editor was not doing their job that day.
No.
Now, there's lots of different editors, and I never understand line editors, story editors.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you work with a bunch of people, or you were a lone wolf? Lone wolf.
Oh, me?
Yeah,
I did hire an editor for this book, yes.
one editor, but you don't work with like a, because I've heard people talk about. I have my line editors, my
Yeah.
whatever story editor. What?
Those are people with a lot of money.
Wow. Yeah, somebody, one of the authors I talked to in the last week. Oh, it was the lady who was talking about her romance 70s rock uh, rock scene. She said she spent over $50,000 on just getting the book done between all the editors and artwork and all that kind of stuff.
Oh
It's
my.
like, yeah, like authors aren't enough behind the eight ball with trying to make. And if you're in it about the money, of course, that's not the thing. It becomes product then. But you want to be able to at least recoup your investment and stuff. You start out $50,000 in the hole. You're really it's
Yeah.
so difficult. So,
Yeah, I mean, she must have either a great savings account, got an inheritance or something, or just really wanted this project in the world. And, you know, my father was a street rod builder. And so he pumped a lot of money into cars to build them. So it's a hobby for some, a living for others. So maybe that was her passion and it was her dream, right? You know, you hear of a lot of people like, it's my dream to write a book one day. Well,
our
50
resident
grand.
Kiwi, I think he's asking for free books here. He says I proofread for free. I think that you're just trying to get a lot of free books, aren't you, Kev?
That is a great point, though, about mention about having a passion and dumping money into it, especially with cars, because
Mhm.
that happens to a lot of car guys. They'll have their project car and it's sitting in their driveway or garage for 15 to 20 years because they're just pumping money into it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Took my father 13 years to build his dream car from
Yeah.
the frame up. So
All right. Earlier this week, I had an author on who we were talking about how she writes, and she was plotter or pantser, that whole thing. And she said that sometimes when she gets stuck, she will just leave blank pages and just write one line somewhere like several pages in from where she was, just one line, and then somehow force herself to connect the dots. That just seems like really difficult to me. To have a story going, and then I'm just going to put in this weird twist all the way down here, and somehow have to get from here to there and make it make sense, right? Do you have any like weird process things that might seem like really strange to somebody who doesn't know?
I get what she's saying though, because there's this little trick that's called, you put T.K. because it's it's easily found when you do a search. So if I lose my train of thought, I'll put TK if I want to come back to that. So that's the closest I can think. But to leave gaps like that is I mean, that's her process.
Yeah.
For me, oh my goodness. I don't know. At night when I go to bed, I will tell myself stories about my own story. Like I'll try to relive it like a movie in my mind, especially if I'm trying to work on a new scene, and I'll recreate or create the scene in my head, and it's like telling myself a story. It's the only quirky thing I can think of. I listen to Chris Stapleton when I write. And so I've associated Chris Stapleton with writing.
Well, that's interesting because I feel like I can't listen to any music with vocals on it when I'm trying to write anything, because then all of a sudden I'm writing the lyrics out. Wait, what I just type? That's interesting. Listen,
it's practice. It's a routine. And I started out by listening to his song, Maggie's Song, which is about his dog. And then I fell in love with his voice. So I kept listening. And then I started to associate his music with this book. And so the next book I'm working on, it seems to be Lainey Wilson that's in my ear.
The next book you're working on, you want to give us a teaser?
Do you want the title?
Yes.
Must Love Rescue Dogs.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a meet cute in the dog park.
Yeah. You think? Because again, we were thinking about going. I'm thinking, the dog could just seem like so great, and the idea that any of them might not make it out of there is just heartbreaking. So I'm going to go there, and I'm going to want to take them all. But I think somehow you can fool yourself into that love infatuation with a dog. Oh, look at him, and then get him home and just have all sorts of problems with him. That's the problem I'm having with thinking about the shelter dog. How do you guard against just having too open a heart and just, I want to take them all home.
I am not the person to give you advice on that, because last week I went to it's called the SPCA here. It's an acronym. I don't know. Ontario SPCA. Yeah. And I went to discuss the book and maybe some fundraising. Wasn't there a puppy there? And it was the last puppy of the litter that had just come in from up north. And she called it a dream litter. Like they were the most amazing puppies. So the attendant comes out and she's got Lucas in her arms. And she's like, do you want to hold him? I'm like, yes, but no.
Yeah.
So I did. And I have a photo and he just melted into me. Like and it was like, oh. So I sat with that for a while, took some photos. I gave him back. I got in the car and I called my husband. Do you think maybe, actually, I didn't even ask him. I just kind of was putting feelers out there, like, oh yeah, I just held this really cute puppy. He's really well behaved and he just needs a home for a little while. And he's like, nope. Because he knows, right? We have 2 dogs and my mom's dog as well. So I cannot give you advice. Don't go. If you're feeling vulnerable, do not go to the shelter.
Well, I think I'm going to be, I don't know. I don't see how she was. And GD said, well, you'd say that about every dog you've ever had. She was the best puppy ever. And it's just like, it's a really tough separation. And for what it was worth, she was having kidney failure. She was in the last stages of kidney failure. But she did not look like she was suffering. She didn't look like she was ready to be put down or any of that stuff. It's just and I didn't have to make that decision. It's my stepdaughter's dog, but I've spent more time with that dog than just about anybody. And it's just like, I'd go to visit her, I'd look her in the face and say, I'm sorry, I'm not making the decision here. And wow, man, it's just so tough.
It is tough, and I want to ask you a question, both of you. Ron, do you have no, you don't have your dog. You don't have a dog right now, but no. It's a question for both of you though. If when you lose a dog, how do I say it? So a lot of people will say, no, I'm never getting a dog again. I never want to put myself through that again. And I say, and I used to be like that too, but I would always get a dog anyways. Why wouldn't you want to go through the love again? Like, I know it's a short time frame of love with a dog, but why wouldn't you want to give another dog that kind of love? That's how I see it now. What's your opinion on that?
Definitely. It was what the 11 and a half years up until she got sick. I would take those. They definitely outweigh the because it was really quick. I mean, by the time when the vet diagnosed her was 6 weeks ago. So and he was saying she could live up to a year, she could live 2 months or whatever, but she's not going to get better, and that was heartbreaking. But up until that time, I was still playing with her. She was still, and always she would sleep, put her head on my chest and look me in the face once she went to sleep. Like, I mean, you don't get a better. You talk about unconditional. I don't know if it's unconditional, but yes. So I look forward to having another dog. I don't want her to feel like I'm betraying her or
She
replacing
won't.
her.
No, she won't.
Yeah. Look at me. You're making me cry. Damn it.
That's okay though. That's okay because you know what? Those are tears because you loved her so much and she loved you, and that is okay because a dog's love. And to think, right? Like with humans, you're not going to not love another human again, and they pass away, but there's something about when we lose a pet, a cat or a dog or a pet. And I think, like, I'm looking at Cash, and he's 12 and his face is getting really white, and I know it's coming for both of them.
Yeah,
but I can't prepare myself mentally.
Yeah, I think it's like that with dogs versus humans, just because dogs really don't ever give you pushback. It's just unconditional. It's like, you treat me good and I'll treat you good.
Yeah, I could go put my brother down in a heartbeat. Like, but last or 2 weeks ago, I was approached by somebody who he's a breeder. And he wanted me to help him with some marketing stuff. And I went to meet with the guy, and I this whole thing about, I knew she was passing. I was like, what do you think is the right time to get a puppy? He said, get a puppy now. And it's like, well, that would be rude. Like, then the dog would, well, why are you bringing this puppy home? Am I getting replaced? That kind of stuff. The whole thing made me just like, when is the right time for this? And I know you say that you can do whatever you want. There are no rules on this, but that just feels like, if I don't want to feel everybody else is saying, oh, you're just replacing it and you can't love that dog the same way you love the other dog, and all that kind of judgment, all that kind of stuff. I decided not to work with the puppy mill guy, by the way. It's just like, I'm not big on, we got to move these dogs. Let's market these dogs. And it's like, man, that's just a brutal business.
Well, first of all, go ahead, Ron.
I was just going to say quick, when we lost our dog, we noticed our cat missed the dog, because we had brought the cat in like 2 to 3 years before Shiloh died. And like, they didn't like each other. Like, Shiloh did not like the cat at all, but she would always lay by Shiloh and things like that. And after she passed and stuff, you could tell like she missed her.
Yeah.
I
would say, first of all, don't listen to those people, and you need to stop listening to the judgment of other people, and you have to follow your own heart. Give it some time. I mean, allow yourself the time to grieve her and to think about her. I
appreciate that. Yeah. But the other thing is that being aware, because now I open the Pandora's box to see how many dogs are in shelters waiting, hoping somebody's going to take them home, or they're healthy dogs and they might get put down as a healthy, which is, in my mind, oh my God, that's like concentration camps for animals. The thought of it, I want to go rescue them all.
We all do. And but we have to sort of take a step back and go, okay, this is what I can do. And so right now, what I'm doing, by giving money back, and I did yesterday, went and I donated some money from the book launch. That was what I could do for them right now. And do I want to go get another dog? Yeah, I want a puppy. I've never had a puppy. I've always had rescue dogs that have come with issues. I still want to rescue a puppy, but that's what I can do right now. Yeah. So
I did say this to one of the because I'm not a man of lots of just money to throw around. But I said
Mhm.
I would host events, fundraisers, and stuff like this, entertainment events. Whether it's a music thing, I'll produce shows for you, and I'll take all the money and put it towards the shelter stuff,
Mhm.
or do some paint parties and have people come in and basically take a paint class. They pay $15-$20 at the door. All that goes to the shelter. So
Love it.
I'm going to be doing that. So do you have a time frame on your next book, Must Love Rescue Dogs?
I do. Valentine's Day, 2027.
Wow, that's a year away. Well, you got to come back before then. Like, give us an
I want to
update.
come back when I know you're going to get another dog, so maybe we can,
All right,
I can
I'll
come
let
back
you know
then.
when that happens. I mean, it's probably going to happen sooner than later. Again, my wife, she's afraid that it's going to terrify the cats. I like the cats will get. No matter what, we're always going to have, because she will never not have cats. And we have 2 cats in the house, but I think we have 18 cats out on the front step. They all have, by the way, they all have heated houses, which is driving my electric bill up to,
My.
we have 18 cats outside and 6 chickens and several deer and
You're running a
groundhogs.
small farm, man.
Yeah, well, my wife is like Snow White. What can I do? They come here. So, but we're always going to have cats that will be terrified at some point. So they get
That's
over
right.
it.
That's right.
Yeah, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they're back to
Yeah.
normal.
You're
Yeah.
like, get over yourself. The dog's here to stay.
All right. I'm sorry I could not show the book, but I have the Amazon link there for
Oh,
people
no.
to go
Thank you
buy it.
so much. Yeah.
I don't want to cover up your face again, but it's called North of Broken. It's Canadadia's best rescue dog author. That's a whole genre. Do you own that genre, the rescue dog genre? I don't know what.
No, but I'll claim it. I'll do something.
What is the actual genre? It's not. It's What is
Fiction.
it?
Fiction. I mean, contemporary fiction.
Huh.
Yeah. There should be a dog genre, though.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think so.
I think more. Yeah. Listen, a lot of people don't. Reading is on the low ebb right now, but I think if we cater to people's interest and let them know, oh, this is the thing that you're into, more people would be inclined to read. Oh, there's books about what I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to have a rescue dog category, though, I think it needs some kind of system on a level of sadness.
Yeah.
Like, is it going to be a level 1 sadness book?
1 teardrop, 2 teardrops, 5
Yeah,
teardrops,
exactly.
that kind of, yeah.
I did have one person send me a review and said I couldn't post the stars because it would be under 3 because it was just too sad. And I thought, okay, fair, but you have to have conflict in a story in order to, like, you got to go through some sad moments to get to the happy moments, right? And I mean, I don't kill anybody in the book. Like, sure, there are some moments, but that's what life is all about. And so, Matt, you're going through some wicked sadness right now, but you'll come through on the other side, and
Well, I just say
moments.
If you could add my brother to your new book and kill him off, I would pick up my spirits tremendously.
Oh, which brings me to a good point, though. So I put out a video. I mean, I'm low on the social media standings, but I did a thing where it's like, hey, you want your dog's name in my next book? Do you want your dog to be in my next book? Then I am collecting names and stories. Like, give me a little pitch why your dog should be in Must Love Rescue Dogs. So we'll see. We'll see if it brings back anything.
That's a good idea. That is a very good idea.
Wonderful. Yeah, that would make it really hard to read, though. Especially, well,
at that point you would be like, "Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah.
Look at that!
That is
cool.
weird. That is weird feedback, though, to give. That this book is too sad, but life is sad. There's happy moments in life.
Yeah,
we love to torture ourselves. Sad movies and sad songs are some of my favorite, and the things you don't let go of. Was there's something about human nature that we just are suckers for. I need a good cry. So yeah, I definitely. the night that Autumn passed, I was like, man, I really need something just to like a 12-hour cry just to get
Yeah.
this out of my system.
Yeah.
And looking this, and it's really rough. So, but there'll be brighter days and all that kind of stuff. But
There will be, but it's okay to be in the dark days right now. You have to sit in it and, wallow for a bit, but then you got to pick yourself up and
yeah,
Right.
I again, this is judgment and my fear of judgment, and you're absolutely right. But I'm already perceived as just a really negative guy. Now I don't want like, oh, Mr. Sad Sack attached to all the
Well-
negativity I bring to the world.
It's funny because I don't know you that well, but the 2 times I've spoken with you, you're like, rough, gruff, deep voice, but you're a big teddy bear.
Yeah, all right. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Well, please do come back. I make it a habit of coming back to the show. I really
I
like
would
talking
love
to you.
to.
And I'm going to get on your team here with helping people rescue dog awareness and getting people really just into the idea. If you're ready for another pet, before you go and spend $3,000 on a
Yeah.
puppy, go donate $100 to the shelter and take one loving dog that save his life or her life. So I appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
North of Broken, link is in the description, and support Holly's work. Thank you.
Thanks to you both.
Have a great day up in Canada Day to you.
Right.
But yeah, she's great to talk to. Right?
Yeah,
What am
great.
I seeing here? I got too many things going on. My browser is really StreamYard is changing things around.
I
Anyway,
think that's probably all those tears in your eyes, Matt.
and the glasses. I can see now. It was better when I was blind. Yeah. So changing the subject here. The comedy stuff for you, the Mr. Tongues thing come to an end or something? I thought I saw something about like the owners of the venue shutting down. Well,
Yeah, so HMAC has they're closing, and it stems from a dispute on an entertainment tax that the city of Harrisburg puts on for all shows. It's like 10% when you're doing ticketed events, and they're saying that's too high, which is fair. That is, it's too high. It's actually higher than New York City and Philadelphia entertainment tax, which is ridiculous. Yeah, which is ridiculous and funny because it's Harrisburg. But apparently they owe like $800,000 in back taxes, and so that does not happen overnight.
Yeah.
So they like 2 weeks ago they went to the city with a settlement, and the city never gave them an answer. So the city pulled their mercantile license, and they're closed.
Wow. A venue we used to play at had a similar situation. The guy was $6 million in back taxes, and he wrote a check for $6 million. I mean, that blew me away. Like he went to court, and basically they said, we're going to take your licenses to run, and he basically $6 million. You're skimming a lot off the top. I mean, whatever. They did eventually end up taking him because it was the town owned these places, and he just managed them, and he was supposed to have cameras on those cash registers that somehow went out a lot and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of so they ended up closing him down, and he had to kind of give up his licenses on that for several years or whatever. But I think every venue owner, I'm sorry, I think every venue owner is a little shady.
And it is a hard business because there's so much upfront costs that you have to do. And like I understand that aspect of it, but yeah, if you aren't paying your taxes, that's eventually going to catch up to you.
Right. Get this out of my face. I'm trying to, for some reason, I don't have the banner in for the next author's book. I got to get it in here. I thought I did.
So no more Mr. Tongue. but you know, it
Now,
is what it is.
didn't you have something else that was like an early week thing? Maybe I'm wrong about that. I thought there was like a Tuesday or Wednesday night something thing that you were
Well,
going
I
to.
had a Tuesday, but then that got shut down because they sold alcohol to a minor, somebody that was underage. So that wiped out that venue, and now they've turned that space into like a game room. So they have like slot machines in there and dart boards now.
I'm willing to bet that that's not. I mean, it's not as common as it used to be, but it's selling. I think you should get more than one strike and you're out with the selling to a minor, because the kids like to sneak in or whatever.
Well, yeah, and like 2 years ago, that actually happened at HMAC as well. Like one of the bartenders they had sold a drink to someone that was underage, and that became a whole thing. They didn't lose their license, but of course they got fined, and then they had to put all this shit in place to make sure they're checking IDs and things like that.
Well, it used to be so much easier when I was a kid because they had cardboard for the education of the non-boomer crowd that we have. When I was 13 years old, licenses were a piece of cardboard, like not even good, strong cardboard, and it had the guy's name on it and his height. And if you had brown hair and brown eyes and were the same height as the person who was 35, you're him.
Yeah, different times. My wife, her dad hustled pool back in the day. That's how he made a living. So my wife has told me stories where, her dad was hustling pool and he's watching them at the time and would bring them to the bar and just sit there and watch him hustle pool.
All right. Our next guest is here. How about that? Well, I love it when guests show up even early, never mind on time, but early. Wow.
Or just show up.
It's it is what it is. Yesterday, we had a guest who did second no show in 2 weeks. Like she was supposed to be here 2 weeks ago. She didn't show up, and then she did say something about not having a webcam and just wanting to do audio and stuff. And then she rescheduled for yesterday, and then didn't show up. It's like we have a 2-strike rule in here. Two strikes and you're out. Don't. But yeah. Now I'm going to get in trouble because our guest coming up in just a moment here. It looks like Josie. It could be Josie. Jocie. How would you pronounce that name? Josie? Josie?
Yeah.
Because I would think Josie was an S. I don't know. But anyway, I'm let her get mad at me now because she's gonna say, "No, you pronounced my name wrong." I'm sorry. In advance, I'm apologizing. I'm not good at this. It's only been 22 years of podcasting. By the way, I didn't even realize it was 22 years of podcasting. I saw something in my Facebook memories from a blog talk radio show that I was doing 22 years ago. Wow. How about that? Josie McCade is the author of 20 books, over 20 books. How about that? She must be writing all day, every day. Her fiction writing has received several awards for mystery and rom-com books. Not ron-con. Don't get excited. Rom-com. Her nonfiction work has appeared in dozens of magazines, coffee blogs, online blogs. I'm thinking of me. And served as the senior news editor of Readers Entertainment News, a top blog for readers. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome in Josie. Is it Josie McCabe?
It's Josie. You got it.
Okay. Well, good. I didn't screw it up. Anyway,
You did
reader.
Good.
Yeah. A top blog for readers. We just talked about this a little while ago, but I feel like, and when I first started interviewing authors, I had this idea that people just don't like reading anymore. It's too much work, right? Do you agree that, or is it making some kind of rebound, and I am not aware of it?
I
reading?
think it's making a rebound. I've noticed a lot of a little older than college age, because at that age they're probably required to read all those books nobody wants to read. Um, but I think something, late 20s into early 30s, I've seen quite a resurgence in it. Not as much as you do over 50s, because I think they have more time to read. But
Right.
there has been some, and the big explosion, honestly, has been in audiobooks. And I'm a fan of audiobooks because it's, you can go weed the garden, do the dishes, make dinner, and listen to a bestseller, and you get that whole I am woman thing going there. So, it lets you accomplish many things in a short period of time.
I don't dislike audiobooks, but I still prefer the old-fashioned read it for yourself or hear it, and you can make up your own voices. Sometimes, if the voice isn't what I expected, the narrator, or sometimes they do like radio plays, where there's a whole cast that playing it out. If it's not what you expect, it can kind of almost ruin it for you. Like I just want to hear my own voice saying the words, like traditional reading things. So
Yeah, I prefer that as well. I'm just kind of old school, but there are times when, life interrupts and you really want to read this book by this particular author. And so that checks a lot of boxes. And I agree with you. It depends on the reader. There's some very good audiobook readers, and then there's some that'll you just shut it down because they shouldn't be reading that book. They might be all right on another book, but not on this particular one. And
Right.
One of my first forays was many years ago into brought home an audiobook, and it had like a cast from an old radio show on it. And it didn't end well for me, because about the time an explosion, because they had sound effects as well, hit, I sort of wrecked the tractor. Yeah.
No sound effects, please. It's the wrong one. I want to bring up the cover of the book. I wasn't aware that Ron was going to be joining me this morning, so I had the book dead center. If I brought it up, it would cover your face. So let me see if I can. There it is.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. Yeah, this is your latest one, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, let sleeping dogs lie. We shouldn't let anybody lie. Lying is a bad thing. We don't want to encourage lying. Why do you want to let sleeping dogs lie? I'm just kidding. This is about a robot dog, right?
It is. Yes, it's a robotic dog.
It's and we were just talking about dogs with our previous guest who wrote a book about rescue dogs, and she's writing another book about rescue dogs. She's very cyber dogs, robot dogs. Are we there? Are we?
We are there.
We are.
This dog is a little, forward, I think, at least I hope so, on some of the current robotic dogs. But the premise of the story is the dog starts out being a service dog. And the idea actually came to me. For many years, I was a librarian, and a lady used to come in who was a puppy raiser for service dogs, guiding eyes, basically. And to get them used to children and places that they would be exposed to. And what I didn't know until that point was that service dogs basically have a shelf life. Being a human service dog, particularly a hearing or a sight dog, is very stressful for that canine. And basically about 7 years is their max, particularly if their owner lives in a large city, because of the stress of living in a large city and being that person's, eyes and ears. So I thought, instead of having all these robotic dogs, which, don't get me wrong, I like robotic dogs to do things humans don't have to do. Wouldn't it be great if we had one that was a service dog and that could be programmed as a multifunctional service dog? And that way, there's no, if you live on the 14th floor in New York City, there's no potty breaks that you have to do, and no feeding and no grooming. And as your needs change, the dog can be reprogrammed to meet those changes.
Yeah, I'm looking at the cover. I have it blown up bigger than people can see it here. The dog looks robotic, though, right?
Yes.
It doesn't look. It's not like dressed in.
No, he's not a fur ball.
Yeah. Is AI? Because I did a party over the summer, a bed and breakfast. A guy was doing a romantic thing for his wife, and he hired me to do a paint party for just a couple. But they had a robot there that freaked me out. This robot was all over the floor. But full of artificial intelligence and stuff, and it was freaking me out. The dog, is it dog-like or is it robot-like? More of a dog or more of a robot?
This one, I'm the proud owner of the world's calmest border collie, and it's kind of based on her a little bit, but he also has functions that Hope has no idea. Hope is the main character in the book that he does possess, because for a period of time, he follows her home from an electronics convention. But he follows her home with the assistance of his AI handler, because he is definitely wanted by governments and things like that for more nefarious uses. And so she's trying to keep him hidden from the world while he helps her solve local murders. And so it's a mutually beneficial kind of a thing. But I wanted him to look like a dog without actually having the fur and the slobber and all of that. But he doesn't talk. He's not one of those, but he has a personality. And I don't know if either one of you watched Star Trek, but there was the one series that had T'Pol, who was the Lady Vulcan in it. I think it was in the Archer series. But I thought that woman did a brilliant job. Of course, she's beautiful, which helps, but she did a brilliant job of conveying emotion without conveying emotion. Everything was just subtle little things in her eye movement or her facial tics. And that's kind of where I wanted Pip to be, that under it all, he does have a bit of emotion, but it's very hard to see it. He does it in actions versus in voice or emotion.
Wow. Now, in the intro, I think I remember describing you as a rom-com writer. This is not a rom-com. This is a mystery, right?
This is a mystery, yes. I have a romantic comedy series, The Three Bears, because I like romantic comedy. You can ask my husband, every time things get romantic, I burst out in laughter because I just think it's funny. And I can laugh at the most inappropriate things. And it was very much fun to write. It was based on a trip we took to Wyoming, where I was like, what if a goth backup singer dropped into a ranching cowboy's life? And how would that blend? So
dog backup singer, you say. That's why you named the dog Pip, right?
There you go. Yeah, Hope and the Pips.
Well, if you're looking for inappropriate, you come to the right place, because Ron Kane is the king of inappropriate. Go ahead, Ron. Give us something to laugh about. I'm sorry.
Well, there's plenty to laugh about. I mean, look how our country is running. I mean, let's just start with there.
It's been that way for a very long time. I think we're in need of someone. I don't know, a George
maybe a
Washington,
robotic dog.
Maybe a robotic dog. That could be, pure logic, but that has its minuses as well.
Yeah. But there's some rom-com stuff in here, but it looks like you write a lot of mysteries, right? Or at least a lot of stuff that is mystery.
I like mysteries. I like thrillers. I'm a big thriller reader. I always laugh. As a child, I used to take, my mother had checkbooks, and I used to take her checkbook and pretend I was FBI agent, and realizing when I grew up, oh God, people will shoot at me. I don't want to do that. So, it just kind of came from that. I'm the one that loves the Bournes and, James Rollins and Vince Flynn. I like those books. And when I write mystery, it's more cozy. It's easier for me, kind of bloodless murder, so to speak. And although I have been told in the Mason-Dixon series I have that it's more thriller than mystery, because according to the genre box they put you in, you can only have one murder in a cozy mystery. And I was turning up dead bodies quite frequently.
Who makes these rules?
I don't know. I think the big publishing houses, and I'm a hybrid. I've been with publishing houses. I've been indie. And so I think that, and then readers kind of get used to it too. If you say rom-com or cozy mystery, they expect a certain type of story. That's because it's been that way for decades.
Well, I'm going to try and, I'm terrible with these dopey buttons. I'm going to try and share your website, because I'm looking at the Mason-Dixon mystery stuff. It looks to me like the cover makes me feel like I'm going to read about the Florida Keys or something. The covers with all the palm trees on them. Battlement of Blue, Line is Drawn, Southern Charm. They all look like Oh, this is going to be about like just the tropical fun, and they don't look
Well,
like
the covers have gone through many incarnations because some of the illustrators that I've hired don't quite get at this one because it's set in Virginia Beach, Virginia. So, and Virginia Beach does have some relocated palm trees.
Right.
And
before I do anything, I got to put the here you go. There you go. It's the website is scrolling across at the bottom, and there's a link in the description so you can get there for yourself.
Great.
More than 20 books. Yeah, no, over 20 books. Is that because you don't really know how many? It's like it could be 50. Yeah, or it didn't give me it doesn't in the bio. It doesn't say she's written 27 books. Over 20 books could be 250 books. It could be.
I'm not quite that prolific, but I do have a friend that's about that prolific. But I think at this standing, I think I'm right at 25. Yeah, because I've been in a couple anthologies, and I don't want to claim them as my own, just a part of. Yeah. So, those play a part as well as articles. I mean, I've been writing. First article I sold, I was 17. So I've been writing for quite a few centuries.
I'm just going to scroll through some of these books here and some of these covers, because I want to ask, you just said an illustrator. Is that because you're traditionally published? Do you have control over that, or do they put it out and you sometimes it's not exactly like what you would have had in mind?
Most authors, you do get a little bit of say if you're traditionally published, but primarily your publisher has the end say. You have input, but if you're indie, you hire the illustrator, you become the illustrator, you're the one that puts it out, and you hope for the best.
Right. This Bear spelled Bayer. Fact. This guy, looks like a romance I'd be into. I love chicks in cowboy hats. I don't know if I've ever told people that. Do you have some experience with Southern life and girls who wear cowboy hats?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of cowboy hats and boots. We live on a little farm, although it's Midwest, not West. So yeah, I have several from cowboy hats to farmers, ball caps to boots. So that's usually what I'm attired in. I was like, I dressed up today. I'm like,
wow. I don't know what it is. The chicks in the cowboy hats and the boots and something. All of a sudden, I'm like interested. Like, what the hell is that? Am I secretly a bareback cowboy? Is that the problem? I guess
that could be. I don't know. I think most of us, especially if you grew up in a certain time period, you have a little bit of inner cowboy or cowgirl.
Oh, I have an affinity for the Old West, big time.
I do too.
Just for we have a few seconds here. I could tell this. When I was a runaway and I lived in Florida, I put myself through high school. But when it came to college, for some reason, I was reading lots about Billy the Kid and how he went from born in the slums of New York, went to New Mexico and grew up there. And I was like, that's where I got to go. So I went to university in New Mexico and just like following, just like enamored with Billy the Kid and the history of that whole time. So, and basically dedicated 4 years of my life in that place just because of my affinity for the Old West. And I'm constantly like looking at videos about Old West mysteries and stuff like that, and Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid and Billy the Kid and all that stuff. Very cool stuff. But these are romance, right? Because the cowboy and the cowgirl are there.
Yes, yes. The Bear name, it's three brothers actually, and it's the Bear Brothers. So I was just playing off of, Bear is a German spelling of Bear, and I just thought it was kind of funny to play off the three bears. Goldilocks and
for the bare necessities.
That's it, yeah.
Coming back to the rules thing. Romance novels have to have it's a flat out rule. You can't break this rule, right? They have to have a happy ending.
That's true. Yes. If you write strictly romance, every reader and most of the readers obviously are female, and they have to have a happy ending or it's not a romance.
See, but that's a rule, but can't that rule be broken? Because we were just talking about how we, as human beings, we love to torture. If somebody said The Notebook in the chat room, if you want to cry, sad songs, sad movies, those are hits. Those are the movies and things and books that resonate with us, and we'll read them twice because it got us to cry in the end. Can't you have like a really strong romance that ends in like sadness and hook the people? No. It's Notebook or romance, right?
It's considered romance, yes, but it's also more considered women's fiction. So they designate, they draw lines there, and it's probably why I'm a really pitiful romance author. I mean, there are some amazing books out there, and women write really great books, and there's gentlemen that write them as well. But generally, if it has not that happy, live happily ever after ending, they consider it women's fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah. But unless you have a series, now you can have, like a 3 to 6 book series. And in the first book, they kind of huff off and they're mad at each other. But in book 2, they get back together, etc. Kind of like real life romance. But if it's a standalone romance, that is expected.
All right. This is so interesting to me because the business of it.
Yes.
You talk about the lines, and that's what the lines are really about. It's the business of it. And if you get an audience that expects a McDonald's cheeseburger from you, they want a McDonald's cheeseburger. They want a
McDonald's cheeseburger, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
But for you seem to purposely or intentionally cross that line. You go from romantic comedies to mysteries to thrillers and stuff. Do you not risk losing some of your audience when you do that?
I do, to a point. My mind is so static. I mean, I have millions of book ideas and I can never stay in my own lane, period. I just can't. And sometimes I'm the person, I don't know. I think a lot of people, if you watch movies and stuff, sometimes you like something that's not always straight, pat, going to follow a particular order. You like to mix it up a little bit. But the one thing that's consistent in pretty much every book I've ever written is humor, because I do have a warped sense of humor. So even in the mysteries, the dead bodies are pretty funny. Like I said, today, especially life in the real world is pretty chaotic and honestly depressing. So I want to bring a little bit of levity for an hour or two in a book that lets people escape from the chaos of reality. And if you can find humor in romance, or you can find humor in, investigating a murder, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for that. I think we need to laugh more as things get darker. I'm just a big fan of just dealing with things with silliness, or just getting away from, just to save your own sanity in some way.
Yes, absolutely.
So now thriller and mystery, because I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, we were talking to an author and who told me what the difference between mystery and thriller is. And my first guess was that if it gets made into a film, a thriller has to have what's his name, Tom Cruise running. That's the difference, right? What in your mind is the difference between thriller and mystery?
Well, there's mystery, and then there's cozy mystery. There is a lot of subgenres in it. If you've seen, especially some of the British mysteries and that type of stuff, there's some that are quite serious, very procedural, police-wise, criminals. And just mysteries, like Murder, She Wrote. And then on the thrillers, I mean, to me, the thrillers are more action oriented. They tend to be male dominated. The Brad Thors, the Bourne trilogy, those are thrillers. And pretty much every chapter is packed with a thrilling moment, a chase scene, a car scene, a shoot up the bad guy scene. But the one thing I always laugh at, and especially gentlemen look at me and go, almost every thriller that you will read, and I don't think I've ever read one that didn't, has a tinge of romance somewhere in it. Even if it's a male lead and a male cast and a military type thriller, there's always a couple ladies in there, and at some level they ride off into the sunset with them. So, I think even though it's not termed a romance, almost every thriller, and there's some that don't, but most thrillers do have that tinge of romance in there.
Very cool. Well, we're learning stuff about how to now. Do you? Because this is something that very few authors give me an affirmative answer on. Do you keep track of who your readership is? Like, would you if it came down to figuring out who pinpointing your demographic? This is my target audience. These are the people that read my books. Would you be able to do that?
Yes and no. I'm going to be one of those authors that doesn't give you a definitive answer. There are very many analytics that you can follow on social media. I mean, Facebook and Amazon and those show you who buys your books, or not who, but especially Facebook will show you the age demographics and the gender and the region. Oddly, I laugh because being Midwest, I have a lot of New York and East Coast readers, which kind of shocked me. I was thinking more Midwest or Western or even Southern, because Mason-Dixon is set in the South, but the majority of my readers are over 50 and they're in the Northeast.
Yeah.
And that was very shocking to me. I don't have a lot of younger readers, again, because I think they're starting to build their life and they don't have time to read. And maybe as they get older, they'll come on over.
The other night I had an author on. She said she was surprised because she does analytics, and she said for her website, she couldn't believe how many people in Nigeria. I was like, I don't think they're. I think that's my uncle Saul, who just died and left me $5 million or something.
But I have been reading more and more, and even seeing more and more that people are actually going back to traditional books and reading traditional books versus having it on their iPad or their phone, because people, it's just a disconnect issue. People would just want to completely disconnect.
Yeah.
And really, like, reading a book on your iPad is different than reading it, holding it in your hand.
It is. I mean, when I travel, I have an iPad, a Kindle I keep books on, because what are you going to do on a plane except read or write a movie, watch a movie? But at home, there's always a book in my car. There's always a book in the bag. There's always a book beside the bed. In fact, there's more than one. But yeah, I like that tangible. I can hold on to it. And it's also easier if I go, when did she say that? And then go back, to find those things. So I'm hoping and praying books never go out of style, because I like holding on to them. I have an entire wall here in my office of books, and occasionally I do have to go through them and peruse them. And that was one of my jobs as a librarian. It was time to go through the books and, put them up, older copies for sale and that type of things. And a friend of mine and I would do that. And some books just didn't make it to the sale because they really needed to stay there.
Yeah, to me, it's gotten weird for me, because in my youth I would get tired reading and fall asleep, and now I will fall asleep watching television, but I stay awake when I'm reading. And I definitely appreciate hard copy books. More so than audiobooks. And audiobooks are easy when you're driving and all that stuff, and they have their place in this world. But for me, I prefer to sit with a book and turn pages manually, like the old school. I'd probably be good if you described it into a rock. And like, next rock, bring in the next break.
Yeah, I like the books, and the audiobooks are great, especially when my children were small, and you could plug some of those audiobooks by, young authors or children's authors into there, and it would keep them occupied on a long road trip, because that was also in the era before the iPad. So it was quite helpful at that point.
Yeah, I'd like to discuss, because you are traditionally published, and
I have been.
There used to be a stigma about self-published people that you're not a legitimate author if you're self-published, and that went away at least 10 years ago. But I almost feel like it's better off to be self-published right now. I understand, and Ron has been part of this conversation, where creatives, they don't get into it for the business aspect, and nobody wants to be a business person. If you're a creator, you love the creation, you love the process, and you're writing, creating comedy, whatever that your creative outlet is. You don't get into, and if you're a publisher, self-published person, you have to become the CEO of your own personal brand at that point. What are the pros and cons, as far as, from your perspective, obviously, I think because you do 25 books or so, you prefer traditionally published. Can you talk about that?
Actually, I'm more indie. The traditional that I did publish were the Bear books, and then I got the rights back, and since then I've been indie.
Okay.
And I think the big point of this is you have control. You have control even if you screw it up, of your covers, of your words, of your editing. And in a big publishing traditional situation, they put you in a schedule with 300 other authors, and Jane is going to be published in April and Joe is going to be published in May, etc. And you're pushed back to September, where if you're indie published, you can publish in each one of those months if you have things ready.
Yeah.
So I think it takes away from traditional publish is great. It gives you a lot more access or people access to your book, readers. And it takes away from having to be that independent entrepreneur, because you're right, you do have to be the CEO, the financial manager, etc. But they both are good.
The whole paradigm with traditional publishing has got me confused now, because it used to be they published books and they got behind everything they published. They were really discerning about who they signed to a publishing deal. But once they signed you, they got behind it and would do what they could to now, unless you're J.K. Rowling or something, they're not gonna invest any time or energy into making sure people know about your books. Why even bother? I mean,
well, the publishing industry is fickle, and for years, if you were indie, you weren't considered a real author. And I think what changed that is back in, I think it was probably the early 80s, that Chicken Soup for the Soul, he actually was turned down by every single publisher there is. So he published it on his own and he sold it out of the back of his car. And once it started making money, then publishers were knocking on his door. And since that time period, I think it's become more legitimized to be indie. But also years ago, when I was a kid and first starting out, there were 17 or 18 publishers who were fairly big. And now you're down to basically 5. They've bought up all of the smaller houses who would stand behind an author, because the more you get it out there and the more your author makes, the more you make as a publisher. Right. And now there's basically the big 5. They've absorbed everyone else. And unless you are the author who breaks out like a J.K. Rowling, like a Stephen King, you're just back here. Right. And if you have 2 or 3 books that don't break whatever margin that they have for sales, then they will terminate your contract.
Yeah. Unfortunately, like movies and music is essentially turned.
Yes, it is.
So.
And there's a whole Pandora's box we just opened up. We're talking about movies and this kind of stuff. But the other night, an author said to me that she was surprised about how many scammers, because she's only began publishing recently. So she's got like 1 or 2 books out, and she's getting like people want to scam her. Welcome to the world of creativity. If you're doing anything creative, there are sharks in the water looking to take advantage of you. Whether it's movies, comedy, magic, music, or anything, authorship, filmmakers, everybody is trying to kind of take advantage of your hopes and dreams. Do you see a lot of that now that because you're very prolific and have like 25 books out? Oh, yes. Do you still get that, or is that only in the beginning stage?
Oh, no, it's at every stage. I'm, kind of middle of the road. There's authors that are behind me in publication and others that are way ahead who are indie. And almost every day at some level, I get an email. I got one the other day from Nora Roberts. She liked my book. I'm going, so those, those come in every day. I'm like, hey, Nora, thanks. Great. I'll even send you a free book. But, we all know.
I don't know if maybe I get regular emails from Barack Obama. Apparently he wants to be my buddy.
Well, I live in Ohio, so I get a lot from J.D. Vance. So there you go.
So you're eating cyber dogs, are you?
Yeah. But there's a lot of scam, and if you, I'm sure both of you being in this business have seen it, where they've taken pictures of just rooms of people making an author a bestseller by using 200 phones and flipping a button that turns pages, because authors get paid by the page read if you're with Kindle Unlimited. So they have some authors, not really legitimate authors, but they'll put a book up and turn those pages, so they make buku amounts of money, and then they knock somebody like Nora off of, you know, the top of the bestseller list because these people have more reads.
Yeah.
And so, and then I think one of the worst things, and I hate to say this because I love Amazon, I'm published on Amazon, Amazon has helped me become an author, is a lot of readers return books. And when you return, they'll read them and return them. And when you return them, it comes out of the author's pocket.
Oh my God! I never
When it
even
hits a
thought of
certain
that.
level. Yeah.
I wouldn't see. Maybe I'm just too nice a guy, but that thought of reading a book and returning it. Oh my God, that's just so despicable.
Never entered my mind. There's been several friends who write very lengthy series. I mean, 12-book type series, and they've had all 12 books sold, very happy, you know, pop the cork on the champagne, and then all 12 books are returned in 2 weeks. Somebody's bought them, read them, and then returned them to get their money back. And, you know, it's kind of like years ago when they had people, you know, copying music and they weren't getting the money, you know, artists weren't getting the money from the music. Because there was a story, golly, because I used to string or work for a newspaper as well, that Burrell, the guy that did Happy, you know, that one. Okay. Pharrell, that's the name I'm trying to think of. It said he's lost over $1 billion because of pirating that song.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, if you got $1 billion to lose, I'm not going to feel bad for you.
Well, still no, but still, you know, it's, you know, you're an artist, you're the, you know, the
no, I get it, but
yeah, and it's sad, and I think at some level they're going to have to make some changes. And like with AI, I think AI is great to a point. I think it's also scary. As many lives as AI and the internet has saved, it's also ruined just as many. And I think at some level, the creators of AI, whether it's Musk or whomever, is going to have to do something like a watermark in a photograph, but a watermark in the AI, so that when you pull it up, you know it's AI created, and that you're aware of that.
Oh my God. We were talking about this earlier in the week because there is this certain, and this, people think like magic. It's just like it's just like your grandfather's entertainment or something. But I still know working magicians, and there are magicians who are putting out stuff, so-called magicians. They're not even real magicians. They're putting out reels and stuff on social media that make it seem like they're performing on America's Got Talent or one of these big talent shows on television. They got the actual judges there, so people think it's real, and that is really hurting the working magicians who are already trying to struggle to keep a young audience anyway, because people who are into that art form are generally older. But now they're expected to be able to just make parrots turn into like snakes or something like
yes it's happening in every field, but I think a little more so in the creative type fields, because I think it's easier. And, you know, it's a little harder to, you know, maybe be an engineer, although AI can engineer some things. Right. So I'm probably speaking out of turn with that one, but it's I think something is going to have to be designated to determine and make viewers aware that it is AI. You know, it's coming. There's going to have to be legislation, whether they want to deal with it or not. And I'm not a big person on legislation, but there are some things that need boundaries.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and like you can definitely see it in the entertainment field. And like, you know, speaking of like legislation, unfortunately, because of that big bill that was signed, there's no regulation allowed on AI for 10 years.
No.
Which is completely irresponsible.
Yes,
because you can tell they're just old codgers or just completely signed it over because they still don't understand how fast technology works.
Right.
No, I agree. And I think my biggest thing, you know, I'm slightly vintage, so I've been around a while. And I think the biggest takeaway is that whatever the people want, no one whose salary that we all pay listens to what we want.
Right.
Period. And it's very frustrating. And there's some things that it's even going to affect them, their families, their children, their grandchildren, if they don't address these problems. And I don't know that they see that that's a possibility.
As fast as it's grown in the last 2 or 3 years, to
Mhm.
imagine where it might be 10 years from now is beyond. It's mind-boggling to
Yeah.
even try to imagine what might
Well,
be
and
happening.
it's like the books that I'm writing with Pip and AI. I know quite a bit about computers, but I'm no computer engineer or scientist, so I have to research some things. And of course, it is fiction, so a few things are hopeful and make believe rather than reality. But as fast as it's moving, it's incredible. And as much as this dog seems advanced and so forth, there are dogs out there now that can sniff bombs. There are
Yeah.
dogs out there that can go in. They literally work for fire departments. I mean, we all pretty much know the military and the police applications, but they work in fire departments and go in through rubble so firemen don't have to see if there is a living, breathing human being still there or,
they can even
not.
and they can even have dogs now that sniff for hard drives.
Yes.
And
they
and
have
thumb drives. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's not an algorithm. It actually, the dog can smell, and it can smell a live canine that works for a federal LEO can smell something like 28,000 different smells. And these dogs now are up in the thousands, the robotic dogs, of things that they can detect. I don't even know if it's smell is the right word. Detect, from bombs to cocaine to lost people to, Chanel number 5. I mean, they're incredible what they can do.
Wow. When this, are you a dog lover or do you?
Anything that has fur, feathers, we're good.
I'm just curious.
I mean, my kids were 4-H kids. We had animals here all the time. So
because this is you don't see a lot of books about cyber dogs.
No, you don't. I was like, hey, it's the 21st century. Let's bring cozy mysteries into the 21st century.
When the idea hits you, I'm just curious about this. Like, is it just like a burst of creativity? Like I got a brilliant idea and just got to sit down and start writing about it. Is that how this comes about?
Yeah, pretty much. After listening to my friend with as a puppy raiser, that's when it hit me about, wow, why if we can do all of these things for military, and believe me, we need them. Why can't we do it for helping people? And then I saw a video, and it really, I hate bullies with every passion of my being. And there was a video where people were kicking this little cyber dog, trying to knock it over. I'm sure people have seen it worldwide, and it made me angry. So I thought, well, what if we got a little dog that fights back? And so it just coagulated, and especially the part where, Pip helps. And the main character, Hope, her father was a police officer, and he was killed in the line of duty. So after that, she kind of became a shut-in. She didn't want anything to do with the world, even though at the beginning she wanted to follow in Dad's footsteps and be a detective. And so she protects Pip as much as he brings her out of that self-imposed cocoon. And it kind of evolves as the story moves on. So they help each other through some
very cool
issues.
I often ask, and I'm surprised how often I get the answer, "Oh no, that's ridiculous," about authors. I think every author who writes a book, because you write from a visual, you're seeing the movie in your head as you're writing, right?
Yes.
You in every author's mind, especially if they're writing fiction as opposed to nonfiction, there is some kind of hope, desire, whatever, fantasy about it being made into a movie. And so many authors I talk to, like, almost because they don't want to let themselves feel that, they will say, "Oh no, don't be ridiculous. It's so hard to get a movie." Do you take, because this sounds like it would be not just feasible, but something that might be commercially viable for a filmmaker to make. Do you actively pursue that, or you just take the attitude, like, if somebody reads the book and wants to make it into a movie, that's fine, and I'm not going to actually pursue it?
Oh, to be honest, I don't know how to pursue it. If you have any ideas, bring them on. But no, the power of positive thinking. I always think, Spielberg, Hallmark, or one of them's out there, and they're going to see that book and they're going to make it into a movie.
Yeah.
I laugh because years ago I had someone ask me a very similar question when the Bear books came out. And they were like, well, who would you like to play Joe Bear or whatever? And I'm like, I want to be at the auditions when the Cowboys come in so I can help you pick out the game. Okay. But no, and I think Pip would be, and it would, most of my books, except for the rom-coms, they're like 17 plus, not too difficult, but most 17-year-olds would give me lessons today. But all of my books can be read, by young adults. And
Right.
I think the Pip books particularly would be a great thing for family entertainment, such as on Hallmark. And yeah, with the dog and some things, there could be very commercial applications to it. I can see Pip as a Christmas ornament, so.
Yeah. To be fair here, now, if you're writing good stories, Hollywood or filmmakers aren't interested in you. They don't care about stories. They care about gimmicks and stuff. And that's why I say this book is feasible to them. Oh, look, we got a gimmick. You make a movie about a cyber dog. And but I have for a long time given my opinion on how to get a movie made, and I could be completely wrong about this because I know nothing about what goes into the mindset of people. But I think filmmakers are just as lazy as everybody else in this world, and they don't want to do a screen adaptation. They want to pitch. They want you to, okay, you wrote the novel, but I'm not going to read the novel. Give me the script. So you have to kind of do the script and pitch it on that level. And then, I'm not a script writer. That's a whole other.
I've entered some script writing things. I actually placed in the quarterfinals of a script writing contest sponsored by the Academy Awards people, but nothing ever came of it. I mean, it was, good. That sounded really good. And then kind of petered out from there.
Yeah. So that's probably bad advice. Don't bother writing a script. You're going to be wasting a lot of energy. I've been telling people that for at least 5 or 6 years now, and I wrote a script. I wasted 7 months writing a script, and nobody cares about it.
Yeah, and I think today there are so many great books out there, whether they're traditionally published or independently published, that and amazing storylines that if there was like an independent producer or movie studio, you could have books lined up for the next 50 years and they would all be moneymakers in the movie industry because there's some amazing authors out there.
Yeah. They just thought they want to remake. Let's do another Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. If one thing's successful, we get 15 of them and the follow-ups usually aren't that good. Yeah. Occasionally you hit gold with a follow-up, but that's a very rare bird.
As prolific as you are, how much do you spend all day, every day writing?
No.
No?
No, I'm the one. I mean, with my kids and stuff, they did 4-H, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I wrote in the car. They were band nerds. I wrote in the stands at Friday night football games at halftime. I have a little recorder in my car and I wrote on my lunch hour at work. Today, because they're grown, I have a lot more time. So I try to set aside at least 4 hours a day, but I also live on acreage. So it takes me 8 hours to mow, and I have a garden. And I have a life. I mean, there's these things we like to travel. We have a little RV and I take my computer there.
Now with, when you record, when you're doing voice memos and things like that, do you,
I know there's a way to make them upload, to a voice program that types, but
I don't know I don't know what type of phone you use.
I have an antique Apple.
Okay, like with the latest software update for the iPhone, your voice memos are automatically transcribed.
Yeah,
it is so beautiful because because I had to listen to my stand-up sets to make edits and like pick out the good jokes. And just that functionality alone to be able to just like go through and easily just cut and paste. You should definitely check.
You're getting traded in.
But I know you got some Italian, and when you say you got to go All right.
I have zero Italian except my friend that taught me how to cook pasta. So there you go.
What the hell is a dust bunny? What is a dust bunny? Am I the only one who doesn't know? People in the
Hold
chat
on. I'll show you Dust Bunny.
Oh, all right.
she's gonna go get us a dust bunny. I'm afraid of what. Oh, see, now I thought it was gonna be a real animal.
Dust Bunny.
Wait.
What happened was many years ago, we first moved here. My children were really small. I mean, I'm talking 18 months, 2 years. We walked in the house. I was working. Hubby was working. And underneath the kitchen cabinet roll, there's a little dusty thing across the kitchen because Mama hadn't swept. And they were like, is that a mouse? I'm like, no, it's just a dust bunny. So we became Dust Bunny Farm at that moment. And my kids still make me dust bunnies, even though they're grown.
That's what threw me, Dust Bunny Farm. I'm thinking, wow, there's a farm where they raise dust.
We raise dust bunnies here, yes. World famous dust bunnies.
That's a big bunny. You know, I know you have a border collie, but there was a time when I was in a pet shop and this bunny came running over. It was like the size of a dog. And, it was like, and it acted like a dog. It was very weird. Yeah, I'm thinking of little rabbits. And that's what, when I read about dust bunnies, in my mind, I think you have a farm full of those gigantic rabbits.
No, my kids did a few of them in 4-H. They're called, I think California is the breed, and they're like a kangaroo. I mean, they're huge.
Yeah, they're big ones.
And then you have little like teacup bunnies. I mean, there's a whole gamut, but that's what it was. It just came from my kids making fun of me for having a dust bunny under the kitchen cabinet. And, you know, birthdays and stuff, I'd get little stuffed things that had eyeballs on it, a smaller version of this basically, and that Mom's dust bunnies. She's curating dust bunnies.
All right. Border collies. I heard the border collies are the most intelligent dog. Would you agree with that?
If she had opposable thumb, she'd be running the world. She is probably, we've had lots of dogs and most of ours have been rescues, pound puppies. And actually a friend of my daughter's had her girl had a litter. And so we picked one out and they're known. My sister raises Australian Shepherds and they're a very similar breed, very hyperactive, etc. She is not. She's like me. I'm wondering if there's Prozac in the water because she's just so mellow. She loves to run and she can run. I mean, run and run and run. Yeah. But she also will just lay there and watch. And she probably understands the human vocabulary of probably a 3 to 4 year old child. Yeah.
See, when I asked if they were about the intelligence, I was going to ask if she read your book about the cyber.
No, she posed for it.
I don't know. A real dog wouldn't do that. I don't know. Whatever. Getting advice from your dog on how to finish your book.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's some traits that she has that do go into Pip. So where she's curious and she tends to stand back and watch and analyze the situation, where a lot of puppies we've had are like just full bore into it. She's like, I think I'll stand back here and see if somebody else goes first.
Well, this show has done my heart some good today. Just talking about dogs for 2 hours. I really appreciate it.
Dogs are wonderful.
Yeah, they are. Not to bring it down, but it was time to put one down earlier this week, and it was been very rough for me. So I appreciate getting to talk to you. And the previous guest had written a book, a fiction book about rescue dogs. So this is a good Friday, good way to wrap up the week. I appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you very much for the invite. It's been fun.
JosieMcKay.com, folks. Go there. Now, I don't know, you probably have 25 books in. You probably do this already. Get people to read your books, to call their libraries and ask for it and recommend they put it in the libraries. Have you done that?
I have with my own local, but I have not on a wider net. Can't cast a wider net at doing that. But yes, it's great. I mean, the library is the biggest purchaser of books in the United States, in the world. Right. So if you are an author, you know, it would be a good idea to send at least a press release. Actually, it's better if you're a local patron and you go in and say, hey, can I get this book? Whomever the author is. And generally speaking, they have a little bit of a contingency fund to order books that they don't, because they go through a list of books every month. You know, usually it's the bestsellers, the ones Publisher Weekly are giving 4 and 5 stars to, and or starred review. And but if you want somebody a little lesser known or a little local, then, you know, send your kid in and go, hey, do you have this book? And you don't need to tell them it's your mom's book.
Yeah, everybody in our chat room, whether you're interested in rom-coms or mysteries or cyberdog stuff, just call your library and tell them to get the books and
Yes.
recommend.
And
just
as an author,
pick
you
one
should
out
get
of the
paid
list.
for it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you being here. Whenever you so desire, if you would like to come back when you're about to publish a new book, or you want to remind people that this one's out there, please do feel free to put yourself on the show anytime, and you so desire. It's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you both.
Have a great day. Enjoy
You
your
as well.
Dust Bunny farm.
And
Thank you.
get your transcripts from your iPhone. Get your transcripts.
I will try that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye for now. Josie McCade, folks. JosieMcCade.com. Ron, don't go anywhere. I want to talk to you about something.
Okay.
I think, I'm not sure, because it was a little late at night and I was watching videos on my phone. I think Bill Burr, came out like completely, has he gone completely down the right-wing Trumper thing? The video I saw, and I'm pretty sure if it wasn't him, it was the Smashing Pumpkins guy, but I'm pretty sure it was Bill Burr, just like making excuses for Trump and the Epstein stuff, and he's not that, and that people are just making it up. He's not. There's no evidence that he actually. Are you aware of this, or am I just? I hallucinated it? That's what
maybe hallucinated, but it does. I haven't consumed a lot of Bill Burr's stuff since, he went to Riyadh and did all that shit and tried to go on that, apology tour, which I guess he's still on. Yeah. But he was recently on Dion Cole's podcast, but I had like no interest to watch it. It's like you're just trying to do damage control,
right? It sounded like he was having a real breakdown on it, because he was kind of like, "You think I care about this? You people!" Like that fake Tucker Carlson laugh thing. So what's going on, man? This is really getting to you. It's getting done under your skin. But then I thought that died down, and he was kind of being quiet. Now I don't follow his Monday morning thing, but it seemed like. But then the other night I saw this, and I was like, wow, they really broke this guy. I don't know. And for what I really never followed him for his political views anyway. I thought he was very funny.
Yeah. Well, that like that whole subsect of podcast, they've been suffering for now like 2 months and shit or more, between Riyadh and then like a lot of those guys lining up behind Trump and coming out trying to repair that shit. It's ugly for a lot of those comics right now.
Yeah, good for them. But none of them are. Well, I shouldn't. Even the ones who are kind of angry at Trump or whatever, none of them are coming out and saying, you know what, we should have voted for Harris or whatever. None of them are saying that. They're just saying, oh, this guy's not good. You fucking waxed him up and basically gave him a hot bath or something when you had him on your podcast. You're partially responsible. None of them are taking any responsibility for it. Oh, I didn't know he was going to do this. How did you not know he was going to do this? Really? How did you not know he was going to do all the stuff that he's doing?
And Mark Maron, he really deserves credit for starting that fire.
Yeah, he does. Bert Kreischer, I don't know if you're aware, this is kind of funny. Bert Kreischer was on Shannon Sharp's podcast, and Shannon Sharp, they were in like a heavy moment. Shannon Sharp said to him, "You lost everything, and you had to come back from that. It must have been really difficult. How did you do that?" And Bert, like, well, my father, once when I was coming, I had $60,000. I thought I had $60,000 in the bank. I owed $60,000. I only had $20,000 in the bank. I didn't know what to do, and I called my father, and he started laughing at me. He said, "Welcome to, this is what manhood's all about," and all this stuff. And then turns out Bert didn't lose everything. Nobody, and he was making all that shit up. He was on Rogan a few days later, and Rogan said, Eddie Bravo called me. He said, did Bert Kreischer ever lose everything, lose all his money? He said, no, that never happened. And then he had Bert on in front. He said, did that ever happen? And he started just giggling. He's like, I didn't know what to do. So, but it was not just lying. It was authentically getting into a melodramatic place and describing how he dug himself out of, instead of saying, I don't know what you're talking about. I never lost anything. What are you talking about? He went with the complete and invented this complete drama and let it go out there to the internet. And so I'm sure there's going to be like a Bert Kreischer fan who's going to see that and not see the rebuttal on Rogan a few days later and think, wow, I never knew that Bert lost everything. Wow, I think of him differently now.
But also, I mean, Bert has given that same answer too on other podcasts when they asked him, like, did you lose everything? And he said on other podcasts as well that he panicked in that moment and didn't know what to do.
What to do? It's just to say, I think your researcher got it wrong, man. I'm sorry, but no, that's not me. Maybe you're thinking of Burt Reynolds, Burt Nerney. I don't know who you're thinking of, but it's not me. Yeah. But very weird, yeah. So that's where we're at. But Jackie was like telling me, like, the whole business of comedy is just telling lies all the time, but. It's not serious, though. It's not. You don't get into a serious conversation and tell lies. You tell humorous exaggerations of real life. You don't just kind of melodrama it out and leave it hanging there. Like, yeah, oh man, I was in Vietnam and I was surrounded. Like, no, that didn't ever happen. You're just making shit up now. I don't know. I'm not being judgmental, but I guess I am being judgmental. I'm just wondering how the fuck you let yourself get that far into a lie without stopping yourself and saying, I'm just fucking bullshit.
Yeah. He should have stopped the train before it went off the tracks.
Yeah. So anything you wanna promote before we say goodbye? You got shows coming up. You got what are you doing?
Yes. Next Saturday at Laughing Stock Comedy Club, Ben Frank is headlining, and he'll be supported by David Ginn, Kalen Clemens. And I'll be hosting that. That's my show. And so tickets are $20. Go to laughingstockcc.com for your tickets. And tonight I will be in Northumberland, Pennsylvania at the Front Street Station for a show. So
Northumberland, what part of the state is that? Where is that?
That's north of Harrisburg. It's essentially... if you're familiar with Pennsylvania, if you know where Williamsport is, it's probably about an hour south of Williamsport.
Pennsylvania is a bigger state than it lets on to be. Driving across that state is, I-80. Forget about it. It takes forever. It's like an 8-hour drive or something.
But in April, I will be coming out to Pittsburgh. I'm headlining a show out there, a Next Stop comedy show. I'm excited about that. Then, then in beginning of May, I'm planning on going to Denver for a weekend. So I'll keep everyone posted.
All right. Very cool. Well, thanks for popping in. It's time for all of us to pop right out. Have a great day, a great weekend, and enjoy your show tonight. And let's just all enjoy the world while it's still here, because I have a feeling a nuclear war is going to start today.
Just turn on your radio.
Oh, yeah. Bye for now.
Oh
listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me.